talk hair.
Hello, everyone. We are
Hello.
live. How y'all doing? The Deserve Dream Team. Hello. I want to introduce, for those of you who don't know, y'all should know this Dream Team by now. And I'm out on location. And so I wanted to make sure that we were able to talk this very important conversation about long hair loss, long term. So that long term hair loss is so important because how do we lead up to it? Well, guess what? In the comments, let us know that you're here. In the meantime, while we're letting you know, let's introduce. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. These are our co-hosts, Theodore Chisom, Ms. Terrell Patterson. So, Terrell, tell us who you are and where we can find you.
Hello, I'm Terrell Patterson. I am the owner of Ebony Expressions. I've been in the hair industry for over 20 years. You can find me in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Uh, what's my address? 3915 East Middleton, Suite A. I'm the owner of Ebony Expressions. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and even on TikTok now. It's nice to be here.
She on TikTok. Teddy, tell us who you are for the ones who don't know.
Once again, how y'all doing out there in the land of the internet? My name is Theodore Chisom, better known as the Hair Care King on Instagram. Beverly's of Nashville is my salon name. We've been in existence now. You are going on 30 years. I've been in the industry 30 years myself. TC Distributors for Deserve Healthcare Products. That's another one of our labels. And we're just excited about what we're going to talk about. This is once a month that we get to come together with the other distributors of Deserve Hair Care Products. So I'm just grateful to be on this call with everyone. And I hope we have a great conversation today.
All right. We are, hello. We have one person who represents us really hard. Candice Adams says, hello, Dream Team. Happy Sunday. Thank you for that. We really appreciate it. Yes. So for many of you who do not know what Talk Hair to Me, we are a platform that do not judge, but we also give you the tea, the information that will help you during your hair loss journey. Today's topic is long-term hair loss, how to recover from that. So team, are y'all ready to dive in?
Ready to dive in. Ready.
Are y'all excited? I mean, because this is something so crazy that's going on. We have so many people, and I know y'all see people, and it's hard not to want to help each and every one of them. When you see people with missing edges and people who are not even rocking their weaves and their wigs, and you can tell that they're not comfortable wearing it, but they're wearing it because it's almost like they have to. This is a have to and not a want to. When you're wearing protective styles, it's something that you should choose, that you shouldn't have to be forced to do it because there's no other alternative motive way to do anything else. So Teddy, what do you think about that?
Well, we always start out knowing what's actually happening in the world today, but still dealing with COVID and everything, the situation with what's going on in the world. A lot of people are still not
hardly hear you. Okay.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me better?
You kind of sound.
So I think Angela's outside. I think she's the one who's having the problem. Can you hear me good, Terrell?
Okay. I can hear you.
Great. So we're gonna go on. Well, what's going on is what I say, y'all. It's with COVID and everything that's going on in the world today. You have to understand that a lot of people are not going places. They're not going to the salon. They're not going out to concerts, different things, and that I'm gonna start there first. That's been a situation that's been going on with a lot of people that's going on in the world that they're not really even caring about being out there in the world today. So, my thing is we have to understand that we still have life, and then, we want to get back into taking care of our hair and everything. So a lot of hair care loss that I've seen has been lately of people that I've not seen in the
kind of
salon.
muffling a little bit. Terrell, can you hear him?
I can hear him.
Terrell.
We can hear each
Yes.
other well. We hear each other fine. You're breaking up a little bit, Angie.
Oh, okay, so it's mine.
So back to what I was saying. We have getting people back in the salons has been something that I've seen that people been having, stress. Their hair been having a lot of hair loss going on, and getting them back in the salon. Some of my customers, it's been a good thing because I'm able to go back in and start to rejuvenate their hair, bring their hair back to life, give them the conditioning and everything that they need to, get their hair back in proper condition. So it's been a pleasure to get a lot of my customers that's been actually coming back to the salon because we've been trying to follow the proper protocols for the COVID-19 situation, Terrell. So that's been one of my major things that I've been seeing is people that have not been in the salons for a while. We all know that also with that, a lot of people have been getting a lot of the braid, the protective styles. We always talk about those things. Protective styles, well, literally, that's been one of the biggest areas that I've seen people have long-term damage from. And the reason why I say that is because you have to understand, in order to wear a protective style, you have to understand you cannot leave it in so long. And actually, you have to have someone that's going to detangle the hair, that's going to take care of the hair in the process of getting the braids, in the process of getting the sew-ins, in the process of doing the actual protective styling that they're trying to do. That's even with rod sits, with anything that manipulates a curl pattern or anything that we call protective. After taking care of, you want to take it down. I say within 2 to 3 weeks, no less. Some people go months with protective styles, and that's been one of the biggest areas I've seen a lot of hair loss in my career over the years. You have anything to say about that, Terrell?
I totally agree. A lot of people have taken this time off to take off from the world. It's actually beginning to show up. I think for hair loss, anytime you have a tragic event or something like that that takes place and you experience hair loss, it takes up to like 3 months before it starts to show up. So if you go back, I don't know, most people have gone back a year and they're still having tragic events, but there's been so many deaths, so many things that are going on, that people are experiencing some large amount of stress. And so that is now showing up in the hair. It's definitely showing up in the hair. I agree with the stress totally because it's just so much going on right now, that will cause your hair to be falling out from stress. But protective styles, they're pretty hard. I don't know if we can blame it all on the hairstylist or blame it on the clients. I tell you, some of them just continue and continue and continue. And I mean, you see some people who have worn weaves, worn extensions, worn those type things for 10 years, never taken any breaks. um, to come in and get conditioners or to just take their hair and let it have a little rest. And so you have no other choice but to fall out. If I wore the same outfit, like you said before, over and over for 10 years, I mean, it's going to be raggedy after a while. It's going to be raggedy after a while. So if you take and put extensions in for 10 years, never giving your hair a chance to breathe, to get any oxygen to it, then of course you're going to have some issues. Definitely.
Okay. Okay. If I'm in a bad location, y'all just keep rolling. But here are 5 reasons why people are losing their hair. We talked about stress. Um, and also many people are suffering from hair loss in the entire world. We know that it is deep. Um, One of the main reasons why people are losing their hair is due to living in the past. When I say living in the past, hello, Darlene Gray. She says, hello, I'm in. Lakeisha Butler, the diva, says hello and hi, everyone. Hi, Keisha. But what a lot of people, when I say living in the past, Terrell and Teddy, y'all bag me up if you agree. If you don't agree, let's, because y'all, we ain't always gonna agree, so it's okay. Um, but when I say living in the past, is when we suggest to them as salon professionals that you need a treatment. Well, my hair never needed a treatment. You know, my hair always was fine. I never needed a uh, any protein in my hair. Or it's constantly saying that they remember back in the day that it was less maintenance. Our skin, our scalp, our hair gets old, you know. So we have to treat ourselves. If you keep living in the past saying, well, the stylist used to do this, and this, and you're sitting in a different chair, then, and your hair has come out, and they're telling you how to restore your hair, but you're saying, uh, I could shampoo my hair once a month. I could shampoo my hair twice a month. I was fine. I didn't need all this stuff. Why this so expensive treatments? I mean, why I need to get this? So stop living in the past, because now you don't have blood pressure medicine. Now you have thyroids. In the past, you didn't have side effects to medications because you wasn't on them. You know, so that's one reason that I can definitely say. And then another reason is investment. Sometimes we have long-term hair loss because we don't want to invest in our hair. We want to. I know someone who all she wants is a shampoo. She doesn't want to get anything else. She's watching her hair get shorter and shorter. There's nothing to convince her. She'll wear expensive bags, expensive shoes, expensive clothes, but she will not invest in her hair. She only wants the bare minimum. She wants the appearance of healthy hair, but she doesn't want to do anything to resolve it. What do you all think about that?
Well,
I
I got to
think
jump in on that.
oh, I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead,
go
Terrell.
ahead, Ted.
Go ahead.
I
No, you
think
go.
the what is the definition of insanity? Is it doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a change, but nothing ever happens? I think that it's something to that extent. Anyway, you can't keep having the same. You can't keep doing the same thing, expecting this, expecting different results, because it's not possible. It can't happen. I think some of the things that we did years ago, it was appropriate for the time. There weren't as many things out there in the air as there are now. Pollution wasn't as bad. Our water content wasn't as poor as it is now. There are a lot of things that have changed over time, um, that you have to change with the times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want to jump
Teddy.
in just like okay, so back in the day when we all started doing hair, you know that it was a relaxer nation. A lot of people got relaxers. That was the thing back in the day. So changing with time, we're going back to natural hair. So the thing you have to understand about going to natural hair, because I'm seeing the difference in natural hair versus relaxed hair. Relaxed hair actually was not as dry as natural hair. Natural hair is especially on African American women, natural hair is a dry texture. It's more coarse, it's drier, and you have to understand it takes more to take care of natural hair than it did relaxed hair. Relaxed hair was already, the bond was already broken. It was already able to absorb more moisture. It was already able to hold the style better. So with us having natural hair now, understanding that natural hair needs the moisture, if you're not putting enough moisture back into your hair on a regular regimen, that hair is not going to be healthy. It's not going to have the elasticity that it needs, and it will pop just because you're not doing nothing to it. We get so many natural ladies that think that I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to get my ends trimmed. I don't have to add any moisture or any oils to my hair. I can just wake up and wear a afro, wear a untextured style or anything. So what we have to understand is even with me not having no hair, if I didn't shave it, keep it together, moisturize it, it would look a mess. So we have to understand as people, if you want to take care of the body that God has given us, we must put more time and more effort into just taking care of our hair. And I'm not telling you to come to the salon, but a professional would do it a whole lot better.
Yes, I totally agree. And also, um, Terrell, what do you think about long-term hair loss, just in the lines of someone being embarrassed to come in the salon to get help?
Well, I think the salon, I tell people all the time, is close to being like the church or the doctor's office. If you don't go in for help, if you don't go seek help, the problem only gets worse. So if you don't go in with your bare, no shame, and take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there. It's the same thing for the for the hair salon. You have to go in and get help, because it's a reason why we went to school. It's a reason why we do continuing education. It's a reason why, um, most, not all hairstylists, but most hairstylists will level up to try to improve their ability to help people, because that's our main concern, is to go in and help people get better.
Yes, and for those of you that are out there, shop around, look at their social media. Social media is so huge now. Look and see, and then just DM them about, maybe asking them a question. What do what would you do about this? Or do you take new customers? What do you specialize in? And things like that. Don't intimidate them, but just ask general questions. And generally they'll let you know, oh, I do weaves, braids, this, that, but their pages will talk to you and will speak loud to you. You can tell when someone is only doing styles, and you can see that there's more. I know someone out there on social media that can cut real nice, color real nice, but they're hiding a bunch of bald heads, and they do not specialize in hair care. And they have a huge platform because of an appearance, but not because they are growing hair. They don't have a hair care line. They just have a gift of getting that. I mean, the sharpest colors and cuts. So you have to shop around for what you're looking for. Now, for those of you that are coming on, we're talking about hair loss and long-term hair loss. So I would say, if you see something going on, jump on it then, rather than waiting 15 and 20 years and then saying there's no hope. So, Teddy, do you want to elaborate on, even there are certain relaxers you should use? There are certain colors. Do you turn down your clients with colors or relaxers? And I mean, for me, I have certain customers that need partial relaxers. I don't relax the whole head if they have different textures, or if it's damaged in other areas. I may hit that last or not hit it at all. Or if they have certain colors, I may give them an alternative way of getting that color, but getting it the safest way. So, what do you think about it when the clients are looking at you and batting their little eyes at you and telling you they got to fly out of town and they want that relaxer? How do you turn down the client in order to save the hair?
First of all, I'm gonna always be about the integrity of the hair. So I'm gonna actually look at your texture, see if it can handle color, relax, or anything. One thing that I've learned about relaxers, you have to know which one to use for which type of hair. Meaning, we have calcium relaxers, we have sodium hydroxide relaxers. One of the customers that I used to use a calcium hydroxide relaxer on, I realized that I need to switch her over actually to a sodium hydroxide. And the reason why I did that is because the one that I used had honey nectar infused into the sodium hydroxide relaxer. So it gave the hair so much more moisture. So you have to understand and know your client's hair. You got to know the texture. You have to know if they're having any dryness, if they're breaking off. You have to be constantly paying attention to what's going on. And Relaxers, and I say this all the time, relaxers are coming back. A lot of people thought that they were gone, but it's a lot of people that's getting tired of being natural because of their working out and what they're doing. And one thing I can say, relaxers are not bad. It's about your application. It's about knowing what type of relaxer to use, to go on longer to make sure you maintain and keep that hair on the person's head. So knowing what type of relaxer to use on certain heads will also help prevent long-term damage or long-term hair loss.
Okay, cool beans.
She froze.
Yeah, I think Angela's gone again. I think one of the things that people may also have that's causing hair loss is hormones, changing your hormones, medical conditions. A lot of that can cause hair loss also. So if you're experiencing some hair loss, then I think that, if you're stylist, and I think as part of being a stylist, we need to be able to look at our clients and say, hey, I see some shedding, I see some things that are going on. And if you're doing what you're supposed to do as a stylist and they're still having shedding, they're still having this hair loss, then I think the best thing to do is, be an advocate, recommend them to go to the doctor, go have some blood work done, be able to help them in other ways than just behind the chair. We have to recognize some of those things too. I think that's a stylist's responsibility too.
Wow,
That's
that's
good.
super. It's in my spirit to say this. For those of you out there who are wearing the weight of dreads, braids, or weave, remember it is not your hair, but it is also a weight that's pulling at the root, and it is interrupting and causing damage to your follicle. So I want you to know that can cause long term hair loss when you're constantly getting the braids out, getting the weave out, and putting it back in. Allow your hair to rest. How do y'all agree with that? The rest period.
I totally agree with the rest period, and I'm against, like I say, leaving them in past 3 weeks. I'm against that because you have to understand the pulling, the tightness, the manipulating of the hair. You got you. It's not. If I sit here and just pulled your hair, it's a disease out where people pull their lashes out. They pull, but just imagine, or just take that same thing with your hair constantly being pulled on a day-to-day basis for months. Think about the damage that you're doing to the hair follicle or just the strand of hair alone. So I've seen, like I say, I've seen people with braids and then take them out and their hair totally came out with it at that time. So the longevity of keeping it in is damaging. It's so damaging to the point to where you can lose hair for life.
Hmm.
True.
Yeah, that is true. Ati, the owner of Slade Beauty Supply in Nashville, Tennessee. How you doing? Um, yeah, so we're talking about, for those that are coming on, we're talking about long-term hair loss. It is real. One thing that I, even with myself, when I see a change, so this is like a little tip, you guys. When I see a change in myself, I go straight to the root and I can tell what areas are thinner, what areas are thicker. And then I'll kind of say, oh, okay, it's time for you to get your treatment. You need to put that elixir on your hair. You need to kind of do what you practice, what you're preaching. And I'll kind of look at myself and go, it's time to make some changes. So just like the minister, we preaching, but we want to give you all some happy tips. So we're going to start with Terrell. What are some good tips to turn this thing around?
When you start to see something taking place, be proactive. Don't wait. Start right then and there. If you see too much hair in your hairbrush, then go in right then to say, "Hey, I'm experiencing some hair loss, and I would like to have help, whether it's a treatment or if it's a conditioning, whatever it is that you need to do. I would just say be proactive.
Teddy?
I would say get back into a place of where you trust again, because we've lost trust in this world. We lost trust for stylists. We lost trust for business salon owners. We have to get back to a place of trust, because you taking care of your hair yourself is okay. I'm not knocking the one that takes care of their hair themselves. They know their hair, they feel it. But when you with someone that cares about hair care, sidebar, the hair care king. No, I'm joking. Now that was a joke. But when you got someone who cares about your hair, they're gonna pay attention to what's going on. Every client that I touch, I make sure that I condition each strand of the hair. I make sure I trim. I don't charge. I don't do a la carte for trim. I do a la carte for a haircut. But to trim your hair, I'm going to do that because that's a part of my service when you come in my salon. Because I'm not going to look at your hair be damaged from the bottom and eat up from the bottom up. So I'm saying that to the fact of the women that like to get their hair straightened a lot, or even the ones that like to wear just their curl pattern. You need to get on a regimen to where you're getting proper treatment, proper conditioning, proper trimming of the ends, and that will help prevent a lot of damage, hair loss, all the above.
All right, you guys. Now we're going to cut this short, and but we're going to come up with a part three. Different. All three of us are going to do regimens for you to recover, but it's going to be mixed with Terrell got a mixture, Teddy and myself with how to recover. So what we're going to do is add a part three to it. So we're going to end it, but we're going to begin it again. So,
She's gone again, and
Yes,
so
I think she's trying to
when you
say
come
that we're
back,
going to have a part two to this, and which I think it'll be good, and not just to tell people what they're doing wrong, but to help them figure out what to do to help when they're experiencing some hair loss.
yes, and some products that we'll be able to use to add on to that too, because it is some products that we can definitely add on, like the elixir oil is a take home regimen, to use at home, knowing which shampoos to use, because our satin moisture is more of a clarifying. You'll know that you don't want to use that as much as the moisture. So it's certain products that we will be able to talk about on the part three that I think will be a great talk show next time that we do come together and talk.
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Yes, I think that that'll be a good opportunity for us to be able to get in and tell people about the elixir, tell them about how to use the conditioner, how to how often to condition, how often to use the satin moisture. Because, like you said, if you use it too often, then you're going to dry the hair out more than you would if you didn't.
exactly. So do you mix your elixir oil with your conditioner sometimes? What's your how do you actually do your conditioning when you do it?
I think it depends on what the client is needing. It depends on what the hair is asking for. I don't do the same thing with every person. I kind of balance it depending on what each person needs.
Okay, okay.
Definitely on what each person needs. But I think that's something we can get into on the next show. Um, I'm going to say that we will be able to pick it up from there. Just to kind of leave people with a couple of last little words. Look for us on next month. We are here every uh, fourth Sunday of the month. So come back and look for the Deserve Dream Team. We'll be glad to give you with more information, giving you more tips. My name is Terrell Patterson. I'd like for you to remember your hair is like your personality. All of us have one. You have to let your personality speak volume to the world. To you, Teddy.
That was good, Terrell. My name, like I said, Theodore Chisom, y'all, better known as the Hair Care King, because I am so into hair care for ladies, men as well, but women. Your glory is one of the things that you have that you can take care of, as well as your skin. So be glorious, be beautiful out here. Y'all be blessed, and y'all have a blessed weekend.
Bye.
Bye bye.